So good afternoon everybody. I was just discussing about the 7 quantum levels of pleasures. So just think like there are 7 levels. And these 7 levels, let's name them. This is level 1, this is level 2, this is level 3, this is level 4, this is level 5, this is level 6, and this is the level 7. And corresponding to these 7 levels, there are 7 chakras in the human body. The first being Muladhara, then Swadhisthana, then Manipur, then the fourth is Anahata, then we have Vishuddha, then we have Agya or Ajna, and at the last we have Sahasrara. And these 7 chakras corresponds to the spectrum of electromagnetic radiations Vibgyor. So Sahasrara corresponds to the violet, Ajna Agya corresponds to the indigo, Vishuddha corresponding to blue, Anahata corresponding to green, Manipur correspond to yellow, Swadhisthana correspond to orange, and Muladhara correspond to red. And you must be knowing that if we observe the electromagnetic spectrum, then violet has the highest frequency, highest energy, and highest momentum, whereas red color has the lowest frequency, lowest energy, lowest momentum. So in a way, these chakras are nothing but the frequency of the consciousness, the frequency at which the human mind-brain system resonates. And it starts with the physical level or the level of the Muladhara chakra, or at the first level of pleasure, which involves food, water and sex. And if you move from one level to another, life, if you observe, is just a process to move from the first level to the 7th level. But during each transition, you will have to face negative emotions like fear, anger, anxiety, depression, which will try to make sure that you don't escape that particular quantum level and are confined within that level itself. Now, when you will move from one step to another, 3 types of energies are acting within you, are giving you internal suggestions. Suppose you wish to move from level 1 to level 2. Let's understand this by another symbolic representation. Let's take an example. Suppose you want to move from state 2 to state 3. Then there are 3 types of energies or emotions or the internal suggesters inside you that will try to manipulate you. One of the manipulator, the positive manipulator, or what we call is mythology as the Rajoguna. It will ensure that you move from lower level to the higher level. Then there exists one thing which will try to move you in the reverse direction, that is toward the lower state of pleasure, which is called the Tamoguna or Tamsik Pravritti, which is called. And the third thing, the third energy will try to observe the entire process of moving from one state to another, and that is called the Sadoguna. And these corresponds to the psychological level also. These corresponds to the theory of personalities as depicted by Sigmund Freud. Suppose this is the positive one, this is the negative one, and this is the neutral one. So positive one, so I was just discussing about the energies and their reminiscence with the theories of personality as said by Sigmund Freud. So basically there are three types of energies residing within us: the positive, the negative, and the neutral or the zero. The positive energy in Indian mythology corresponds to the Rajoguna. The negative energy corresponds to the Tamoguna. And the neutral energy corresponds to the Satoguna. And it is being said that the entire universe is being mediated by Raj, Tam, and Sato. And these three are the basic gunas concerned with anybody. And there is very interesting analogy that if you consider an atom, then within the atom there are also three constituents: the electron, the proton, and the neutron. And you must be knowing that electron is negatively charged, proton is positively charged, and neutron is neutral. So ultimately atoms can be divided into electron, proton, and neutron. Now here is an interesting thing, that if you think of any human being, so human being is nothing but a system of organ systems. Organ systems are composed of organs. Organs are composed of tissues. Tissues are composed of cells. Cells are fundamentally composed of DNA, which is a combination of four macromolecules: adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine, which are fundamentally atoms and which are fundamentally composed of electrons, protons, and neutrons. So if we observe microscopically at the atomic level, then any human being is fundamentally composed of atoms. So if he is dominated by the three gunas, as in reminiscence with the three type of charges shown by the electron, proton, and neutron, so we can conclude that at this point mythology and science coincides and converges, pointing to a single truth. And the entire universe is nothing but the infinite pattern of these repetitions. You think of anything ranging from the vibration of a tiny string within the quarks of a neutron and proton to the entire cosmos. There is infinite pattern which is governed by similar laws. Now, there are efforts being made by scientists in the form of a theory which is called the theory of everything, which aspire to explain everything in a single mathematical equation. And I feel that if we think in terms of metaphorics, the entire universe, the consciousness inside everybody, is just a transition from one quantum state to another. You take any example, one thing is common in everybody, for each event occurring in universe. It involves certain sort of energy transitions, and that energy transition is a fundamental process going on inside everything. So in future, if theory of everything will be discovered, then certainly it has to do something with the process of transition from one state to another. And I aspire that work is going on in this segment. But certainly the fundamental process behind each atom of the universe is a transition of energy from one state to another. As we have learnt in Bohr's model, that an electron keeps on making transition from one state to another, mediated by the impact of photons, either accepting it or either releasing it. So life, if you observe, is just that transformation process in which everybody tries to be in a state of transition or to move in the closed path. So if theory of everything will be proposed, it will be about transition of energy.